All right, boys and girls, here we are for the last chapter of Ready Freddy and the Thanksgiving turkey trouble. And finally, Freddy is okay with being the turkey. So we're going to find out how his play went in the last chapter. Chapter 8, Loud and Proud. After the little talk with Papa Dave, I had no problem with being the turkey. In fact, I was excited to play the part. The day of the show finally arrived. I was up even before my alarm went off. I wanted to make sure I had all the parts of my costume ready to take to school. My mom had worked really hard making me the best turkey costume ever, and I didn't want to forget a piece of it. I looked in the bag. Brown pants and shirt, check. Turkey feet, check. Socks, check. Feather suit, check. Hood and beak, check. Oh no! Where was the hood? That was the best part of the costume. I looked under the bed. Not there. I looked in the closet. I looked behind my bookcase. Not there. I ran to look in the bathroom. Maybe I left it in there last night when I was trying it on. Of course, when I got to the bathroom, it was locked. Princess Susie was making herself look beautiful for school. I pounded on the door. Open up, Susie, it's an emergency. You'll have to wait your turn, Shark Breath. I'm busy right now. But I need to get in right away. Too bad. I pounded on the door even harder. Let me in, let me in. Freddy, what is the problem? Asked my mom. I heard you all the way downstairs in the kitchen. I can't find my hood, Mom, and that's the best part of the costume. I won't look like a turkey without it. Calm down. Why don't you look in your room? I already did. It's not there. That's why I wanted to check the bathroom, but Stinky Susie won't let me in. Susie, Mom said, gently knocking on the door, please open the door. Your brother needs to look for something in here. Sure thing, Mom, Susie said, opening the door, smiling sweetly. I don't know what Freddy was yelling about. When my mom wasn't looking, I stuck my tongue out at her. That made me mad that she was so nice to Mom. Oh, look, Freddy, here it is, said Mom, lifting the hood out of the dirty clothes hamper. I wonder how it got in there. Yeah, I wonder, I said, staring at Susie. Thanks for finding it, Mom. You're the best. Now, boys and girls, do you ever treat your brother or sister that way? Should we treat our brothers and sisters that way? No problem, honey. Now go put it in the bag with the rest of the costume and come downstairs for breakfast. A turkey has to eat a good breakfast, you know, to stay nice and fat. In true turkey fashion, I gobbled down the breakfast. Then I headed off to school, and our classroom was buzzing with excitement. Today is the big day, boys and girls. All of your families are coming to see the show. I know they're going to be proud of you. Right now, you all need to put on your costumes. I'm so excited about my dress, said Jessie. My grandma worked really hard sewing it. She made this beaded necklace. It's so beautiful. I love my costume too, I said. My mom spent hours sewing it. That dress is really pretty, I said to Jessie. You look just like an Indian princess. Thanks. What about me, Freddy? Chloe interrupted, stepping right in front of Jessie. Don't I look beautiful? I just stared at her. Well, what do you guys think? She asked, twirling around in her black and white pilgrim dress. He thinks you're a pain, Max butted in. Freddy wasn't talking to you, he was talking to Jessie. You don't have to be so mean, Max Sellers, Chloe whined. And you don't have to be so annoying, said Max. I carefully took my costume out of the bag. I didn't want any feathers to break off. Just as I started to put it on, I heard it. The giggling. It was quiet at first, but then it got louder and louder. I turned around and saw all the kids in the class laughing at me. Not just Max, but everyone. My cheeks got hot. My face turned red. I dropped the costume and ran out of the room. Freddie, wait, Mrs. Wishy called. I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to keep running and never go back to that classroom again. I wanted to hide. But where? I stopped for a second and hit my forehead with the palm of my hand. Think, think, think. When I looked up, I saw the janitor coming out of the closet. As soon as I turned his back and headed down the hall, I ran inside and hid next to the big vacuum cleaner. I was scared because it was really dark in there, but sitting in the dark was better than having all the kids laughing at me. I sat for a while, frozen like a statue, trying not to make a sound. I could hear footsteps coming closer. Freddie! Freddie! It was Mrs. Wishy. Where are you? Just then I heard another voice. It was Mr. Pendergrass, the principal. So there's Freddie hiding in the closet. Boys and girls, is Freddie making a good choice again? No, he's not. Remember what his Papa Dave told him to do? He was supposed to just turn and gobble right back at him. But he hid again. Is something wrong, Mrs. Wishy? Asked Mr. Pendergrass. Yes, I'm looking for Freddy Thresher. He ran away. Ran away? What do you mean? Well, the other children in the class were laughing at him about his costume for the show, and he got upset and ran out of the room. I can't find him anywhere. Oh, that's terrible. Where do you think he went? I have no idea. I'm getting worried. Maybe we should call the police, Mr. Pendergrass said. The police? I didn't want to be the turkey, but I didn't want to go to jail either. I jumped up, threw open the door. I don't want to go to jail, I whined. Then I burst into tears. I'm sorry. Freddy, thank goodness you're all right, Mrs. Wishy said, giving me a hug. Don't you worry, you're not going to jail. But I heard you say you were going to call the police. We just thought the police could help us find you, said Mr. Pendergrass. They weren't going to take you to jail. Oh, Freddy, I'm so sorry the kids laughed at you like that. I think your costume's beautiful. No, it's not, I cried. It's dumb, and everyone in class is going to laugh at me. I'm not going to be in the play anymore. But you have to be. The turkey's the star of the show. It's the symbol of Thanksgiving. Then someone else can be the turkey because I'm not going to do it. Freddy, why don't you come with me to my office? I want to tell you a little story, said Mr. Pendergrass. Am I in trouble? Of course not. I just want to talk to you for a minute. He took my hand and led me into the office. I'm sure Max could describe every detail, but I'd never been in there before. Take a seat. I sat down in a big cushy chair across from Mr. Pendergrass' office. I thought the chair was going to swallow me up. Freddy, do you know what part I had in the kindergarten play? I shook my head. A piece of trash. I tried not to laugh, but I couldn't help it. A piece of trash? I giggled. Yep, a piece of trash. My class was doing a play about recycling, and I had to be a piece of trash. I was so embarrassed, and everybody teased me for weeks. So what did you do? Well, at first I cried about it, like you did, and then I told my mom that I was never going to school again. Well, did she let you stay home? Of course not. And since I had no choice, I decided to be the best piece of trash I could be. I decided to be a dancing piece of trash. A dancing piece of trash? That sounds hilarious. It was, and everybody loved it. In fact, my teacher said I stole the show. Really? Really. So how about it? Want to be a dancing turkey? I jumped out of my seat and started dancing around Mr. Pendergrass' office. Gobble, 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 gobble. Mr. Pendergrass laughed, and then he started gobbling and dancing too. I never knew he could be so funny. All right, Freddy, you better hurry or you'll miss the show. I ran back to the class and got there just as everyone was lining up to go to the auditorium. Jessie smiled and said, Hurry, Freddy, it's almost time for the show. We need you. Mrs. Wishy helped me into my costume. Jessie squeezed my hand. Good luck, Freddy, she whispered. You look great. I squeezed her hand back. Good luck to you, too. When we got to the auditorium, the parents and grandparents were already there. Come on, everyone, called Mrs. Wishy. Get backstage. It's almost time to start the show. As I started to head backstage, Papa Dave walked over to me and whispered, Go get 'em, Tiger. Remember, loud and proud. Gobble, gobble. Then he gave me a quick hug and went to his seat. As the curtains opened, I looked out into the audience and saw Mr. Pendergrass standing in the back of the auditorium. He flapped his arms and did a silent gobble. I smiled and strutted on stage, flapped my wings, and did my loudest and proudest, Gobble, gobble, gobble. The audience laughed. Papa Dave, Grammy, and Mr. Pendergrass laughed and cheered, and I began the show. Welcome to our class play about the story of Thanksgiving. The end. So, boys and girls, Freddy finally realized that it was okay to be the turkey. All right, what was the setting of the story? Where were the characters? And the setting in this chapter changed a lot. Okay, so it started at his house. Yeah, he hadn't even gone to school yet. And he was in his bedroom, and then he couldn't find his costume, so then he went to the bathroom, and then he ate breakfast in the kitchen. So there were 3 settings right there: his bedroom, the bathroom, the kitchen. Then he got to school, and he was in his classroom. And where did he hide? In the closet. And then he went to Mr. Pendergrass's office. And then where was the play? The auditorium. Boys and girls, this chapter had 7 different settings. They were all over the place. It also had lots of characters. And there was a brand new character that we haven't really had much of yet in any of the books, Mr. Pendergrass, the principal. But then, of course, Freddy and his friends and Mrs. Whooshy and his mom and sister were in the very beginning. And then the main idea, what is the main part of this story? The biggest thing, the biggest detail that happened? Well, Freddy was scared to be the turkey, but then Mr. Pendergrass made him realize that he could be a loud, proud, dancing turkey, and he was the star of the show. So they had their show. So that was the end of Turkey Trouble. And after Thanksgiving, we will get to watch or get to read another Ready Freddy story and see about what happens with Freddy and his friends at Christmas time.